Hello everyone. In this short video, I would like to show you Oracle Autonomous Database capabilities and how easy it is to create applications with multiple functionalities using the same platform, just a single database. And features like Oracle REST data services and JSON documents to be able to communicate with, in this case, mobile applications. So I'm going to deploy this application on a very simple autonomous database I have on an always free OCI account. I'm following the guide at dbNotify.oraclexp.com. And I'm going to deploy this application on this always free account. So the first step is to go to Oracle database and to check my database to see if it's up and running. And this is the database. I'm going to connect to, I'm going to use the tools here to connect to Oracle Application Express. And I'm going to provide the password for this Application Express administrative user. And the first step, of course, this is a new database. I just created a new autonomous transaction processing database instance. I'm going to create a workspace. And I'm going to use the name dbNotify 21, and for the password, I'm going to use a strong password for the workspace administrative password. I'm creating the workspace. This takes a couple of seconds. And I'm going to connect to this workspace now. So it's dbNotify 21. And the username is the same. And the password is dblearn. Welcome, and so on. And this is the application builder. This is the Oracle Application Express interface. So I'm going to go to SQL Workshop, RESTful Services. And one of the converged database capabilities is Oracle REST Data Services, ORDS. So I'm going to register this schema, this workspace with Oracle REST Data Services. And I'm going to save the schema attributes. The next step would be to create the REST services that will communicate with my mobile application. I'm going to develop. You can develop any kind of applications. You can develop desktop applications, mobile applications, web applications, client-server applications, anything you need, because everything is in one single place on the same database with converged capabilities, with Oracle converged database capabilities. In this example, I'm going to go to SQL Workshop and I'm going to create everything automatically with SQL commands. On my page here, where I explain how to install the dbNotify application and how to use it. This is a demonstration application just to see converged database capabilities. There is a script, and in this script, this SQL script, you can save it on your computer, and you can see exactly the creation and all the commands you have to execute in order to create the web services. So this is the script here. I have it already downloaded on my laptop, and I'm going to click run. And this script will create everything I need, the web services. I'm going to copy and save the client ID and the client secret. This is a very sensitive information because this is the authentication you will have between the REST data services running on the Oracle Autonomous Database and the mobile application, the demo application in this case. So I'm going to save it in my notes here. Another attribute, another value that you need to connect to the application is the base URL of the application, of the REST data services. So I'm going to go back to the RESTful services. And here in modules, after I run that script, I can see here I have a new module, Alert Web Service. And this is the module which will communicate with the mobile application. And I need the URL, the base URL, the part of the URL which is here with the black font, and I need to save it because this is the URL I will provide in my mobile application to without the alerts part. So just up to dbNotify 21. This is the URL I'm going to need in my application to connect to this REST data services. So now I'm going to share my mobile application. This is my mobile phone, and this is the mobile application. I have it on my mobile phone here. You can see the name is Alert. I can open it. It was already open, and I'm going to go to my notes. I have shared from my laptop to my mobile phone, and I'm going to copy the client ID. Make sure you copy also the last two dots at the end. In the mobile application, you can choose any username you want. So let's say user notify. Yeah. The mobile phone is too small for me. And you need to copy the client secret. And the last part, copy link. I need to copy the base path URL. And then I click login. So now the application is running on my mobile phone, and the web service is running on my autonomous database. This is the whole architecture, just the autonomous database and the mobile application on the mobile phone. The second step is to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen on my mobile, and let me share again my screen on my desktop. So the second step would be to install an application which I already created just to manage those messages easier. So I'm going to use import in my application builder, and I'm going to click and select a file from my computer. I'm going to go to So this is the application I shared. It is available on that web page, dbNotify.oraclexp.com. And I'm gonna open it and click next, next, and install application. This is a very basic application with just one single interactive report, nothing more. And this application is used just to show how this communication between the autonomous database instance and the mobile application works. So I'm gonna use dbNotify, and here sign in. And here there are no messages at this point. So you can see there is nothing on this application at this moment. There are no messages in the communication between the autonomous database and the mobile application. So let me create just a new message. My first notification message. Create. And my mobile phone, let me stop here. Immediately as I create a message, my mobile phone will send me a notification, an alert, saying that I have a notification message sent from my application. So this is the first notification. Is you have an ID, and then you have a view to show the entire message. In case the message is longer, it will show you just a short header in the application list of the messages here in the alerts list. And then you have to click on the view to see the entire message. And we have the time and the date. And also I have some options. I'm going to talk about the options to accept this message later. Just to show you how I'm going to send from the application another alert. From the application, I'm going to create a longer message. I'm going to take the first paragraph and the title of the guide. And you see here, I was sharing my screen. I don't know why it stopped. Yeah, this is the second message, which is longer. And here I can click on the view to see the entire message in case the message is longer. Let me keep this application on the screen, and just to create another message with twice at the end. And this is how I receive another message, okay, in the application. So every time I introduce a new text in that table in the Oracle Autonomous Database, I'm receiving that message immediately, the text message on my mobile phone immediately. So this is the idea. The idea that I can accept and fix those notifications from my mobile phone. So for example, if I want to accept message number 2, I'm going to click accept, and ID number 2 is accepted. I'm going to accept also the number 1, and it is accepted. And the last stage of the notification message is to solve it. Let's say the problem has been solved, and I can click solve on message number 2, and it disappears. It is not removed, it goes into the history. So if I click history at the bottom of the screen, I can see the message number 2, and I can view the entire message, which is archived in the history. And if I go back, I can see all messages. If I stop sharing my mobile phone, and if I show you again my laptop screen, and I refresh the mobile alerts application in my application express on the autonomous database, you can see here message number 2 has been accepted and also has been solved. And the username I just set in the application at the beginning when I logged in into the application, dbNotify. So this is the username which will be stored into the database as the owner of this notification, the one who accepted and also the one who solved the notification. Message number 1 was just accepted, and it hasn't been solved yet. And the last message I added into the application, it has no status. The status is still in the new phase, in the alert phase. So this is the entire demonstration. And if you want to learn more, you can go to the Application Express environment. And for example, you can go to SQL Workshop and Object Browser. And the only thing I'm using is just one single table here. And this is the table where I'm storing the data. So the message text is the text message which once it is inserted from any way, even any insert statement, it will produce a message on the mobile application. And the rest are the dates and the usernames here in accepted by and solved by. The limitation, we have a limitation of the message in this demonstration. This is a very small demonstration of 4,000 bytes. And if you want to go to data, you can see here the data. So you have the 3 messages, the first, the third, and the second. They are not in order. And you can see here the data, the accepted and solved for message number 2, and just accepted for message number 1. And all 3, they have a creation date and of course time. So this is the entire demonstration. Thank you very much for attending.